the KMNN studios, this is the Kids Morning News Network. Good morning, friends. It's July 15th, 2024, and I'm Alex, back in the KMNN studio in New York. Yes, I was sick most of last week. Sorry to miss a couple of days. Hopefully you listened to the shows I reposted last week, which were 2 interviews with amazing kids. If you didn't catch those, go back and listen to last week's shows. It's National Gummy Worm Day. Supposedly gummy worms were invented on this day in 1981 by famous gummy bear candy company Haribo. Now this is going to surprise you, but gummy worms are made from the exact same stuff as gummy bears. The same is not true for real worms and real bears, however. A 1,000-pound bear made from the same stuff as a worm would be yucky.
Ew.
The Summer Olympics begin next Friday in Paris, France. Officially, these are the Games of the 33rd Olympiad. Only you have to write 33 in Roman numerals. XXXIII. Paris is the host city, but events will take place in different locations around France. And one event, surfing, will be on the other side of the world in Tahiti, which is part of French Polynesia, so it's partially governed by France. The games in this year's Summer Olympics include track and field events, some outdoor sports like archery, rugby, triathlon, water events like swimming, diving, sailing, and rowing, some martial arts, including boxing, judo, and taekwondo, soccer, golf, horse events, and some newer events like skateboarding, sport climbing, and break dancing. I think they're calling it breaking. I hope nobody breaks. There are actually 329 events in 32 different sports. 206 nations will be sending at least one athlete to the games for a total of, get this, 10,672 athletes. Wow. That is a lot of talent in one place. And then after the games are finished in mid-August, all the Olympic facilities will be spruced up for the Paralympic Games, which begin August 28th. So it's a sporty summer in France. How do you say stinky sweat socks in French? Hey, if you check out the show notes, you can shoot me a text. Let me know what you're looking forward to in this year's Summer Olympics. While we're talking about the Olympics, it was on this day at the Stockholm Olympics in 1912 that one of the greatest American athletes ever, Jim Thorpe, won the gold medal in the decathlon. The decathlon is 10 track and field events that are put together. A 100-meter sprint, a long jump, shot put, high jump, 400-meter sprint, discus, which is like a very heavy frisbee, 110-meter hurdles, pole vault, javelin, and the 1,500-meter run. So what makes the victory even more amazing is that this was the first time decathlon was held in the modern Olympics. So no one really had a way to train for it. And Jim Thorpe hadn't done any track and field training for the 2 years before 1912. He was too focused on other stuff. The event was held over a weekend from Saturday to Monday. And just like this year, in 1912, the last day, which was Monday, was July 15th. Jim Thorpe didn't win each of the 10 events, but he did come close. He never finished further back than 4th place, and his overall score really trounced the competition. He set a world record that stood for the next 36 years. Jim Thorpe was born in 1887, or maybe 1888, in what is now Oklahoma, but back then it was called Indian Territory. It wasn't a state yet. He was a member of the Sauk and Fox tribe. Even as a kid, he was an athlete, and one of his coaches was Pop Warner, who we know today as a historic football coach and the namesake of the Pop Warner Football League. Now, Jim Thorpe was not just a great track and field athlete. He was a standout in football and baseball and basketball and lacrosse, and ballroom dancing. Yes, ballroom dancing, which if you've never tried it, it's not easy. And Jim Thorpe was a champion dancer, but football was his favorite. After the Olympics were over, he went home to a ticker tape parade down Broadway in New York City. And he said, "I heard people yelling my name, and I couldn't realize how one fellow could have so many friends." Well, I guess you get that many friends when you inspire the entire country. And Jim Thorpe is still an inspiration. All right, it's riddle time. The riddle last Monday was, I have a neck but no head. I have 2 arms but no hands. What am I? The answer, a shirt. Today's riddle is, what kind of tree can you carry in your hand? What kind of tree can you carry in your hand? Give the answer on Wednesday. I hope. I missed a couple of shows last week. I had a really bad cold. Sometimes people say that summer colds are worse than winter colds. There may actually be some truth to that. Colds in the wintertime are usually caused by rhinovirus, while summer colds are often caused by an enterovirus and can, in rare cases, actually lead to more severe symptoms than rhinovirus usually does. In the summertime, you may also be dealing with more allergies than you do in the winter, which can make your symptoms worse. One symptom we all deal with when you have a cold is congestion. I certainly went through that last week. Your nose is runny all the time, you're sniffing, you're sneezing. Your nose is actually the front lines of your body's defenses against infection. All the hairs and things inside your nose are there to trap germs, and then when you sneeze or blow your nose, it's like hitting the ejection seat. You blow them right out. But if germs get past the defenses, then the special tissues inside your nose, not like the tissue you blow your nose into, that's just the tissue that's part of your body, those tissues swell up. And that makes it harder to breathe through your nose. And your body says, flush out the intruders. That's when it tries to kind of wash out the germs with, well, there's no really nice way to put this, but it's with snot.
Gross.
So between the swelling and the flood, there can be very little room for air to get through. And voila, you have a stuffy nose. By the way, do you know what a runny nose is officially called? Rhinorrhea. Rhino is something that has to do with your nose, and rhea is a flow of something or a discharge. So if you have rhinorrhea or a runny nose, it's important that you drink enough water because your body is doing the rhea thing and trying to flush out that infection. So give it a hand. And the weather today, it's going to be hot in the middle of the country and along the mid-Atlantic coast. Looks like a lot of rain around the country today, too. Some of those storms could get pretty energetic this afternoon. All right, that's the show. Thank you very much for listening. And remember, check out the show notes. Send me a text about what you want to see in this year's Summer Olympics. I'll be back Wednesday, and I hope you are too. From the KMNN Newsroom, this is Alex, signing off.